Well, hello everyone. I'm Tamara, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk about comorbid borderline personality disorder and narcissistic personality disorder. And that just means that a person has both borderline personality disorder and narcissistic personality disorder. So imagine that. So leading with borderlines is going to be their fear of abandonment, but leading for the narcissist is going to be getting their ego fed through narcissistic supply. And so you're going to see those two personality disorders interchange with each other, and it may look a little different from person to person. But the problem is when you have to deal with those kind of people day to day with personality disorders, it is extremely difficult. It's exhausting, and you have to protect yourself as well. And sometimes that's very difficult to do if you can't get away from that personality disorder. Being in this person's energy field, exasperating, exhausting, overwhelming. It's too much. In some ways, they're looking for a mommy. They're looking for extreme validation. They're going to hijack your time. They're going to hijack your sanity for theirs. They're going to act out with you when they're not getting their needs met, because the narcissistic side needs narcissistic supply met. They don't want to look stupid. They have a huge ego. There's going to be a lot of irrational things or behaviors that you see from them because they just want you to meet their needs and fill up their ego, or be able to manipulate and use you to get some of their work done, or to give them accolades, or to put them on a pedestal. But that can be really tiring. The borderline part of them is going to be terrified at times that you are going to abandon them. And so they're going to manipulate and scheme and center their entire day around: what are you doing? Where are you going? How can I give them a schedule so that I know where they are and what they're doing at all times, because it makes me feel safer and more secure. And a lot of times it's not going to make sense. They may tell you things like they'll support you in things that are of their interest, but when it comes to your job description, they don't give a care about that. That's what the insecure narcissistic side is going to do. It's going to hijack you, hijack your time, make you do their work. They're going to bully you. My job is your job. You're an extension of me. And borderlines also can feel that you are an extension of them as well. Like, I am you, you are me. The narcissist is, you're an extension of me. So make sure that I get my stuff done because I want to look good. So you'll often be doing their work and your work and wondering, why am I doing both of our jobs, especially if they are your boss, which can go into the category of harassment. They're trying to control you. They need to control you so that they can make sure you're meeting their needs. They will take your whole day, put it aside, and give you something else to do just so that they know where you are at all times, because they attach. The borderline part is going to attach way too quickly, and they're going to need to know what you're doing and where you are at all times. A person with both of these disorders wants to control people in their environment to feel safe. And people with borderline BPD use that control to manage their emotional stability, while the narcissist may use it to build up their self-esteem. So both of these types need a lot of attention, and they can become very sophisticated and smooth in carrying out their disorders. You're gonna know something is off. And some of them are very smooth at that, especially if it's a boss, it's somebody that you feel like you can trust. Both of them use their jobs to get their needs met, which is why they feel more comfortable being in a power position. Controlling you helps them stabilize their own emotions. Some of them can have emotional outbursts when you are not available for them outside of the workplace, or outside of your own personal time, or in a relationship or friendship. You can be overkill. They can often hover over you in a way that makes you feel smothered, like a child, and incompetent. The problem with the borderline side is their emotions are variable and intense. The narcissist side of them their emotional reaction is rage. So they will take advantage of you and really not care about your feelings and how they are exploiting you, because a person with this combo, there is going to be some exploitation. They can tear up some things in order for you to fix them. They can create a very sophisticated system of forcing you to have things that you have to constantly be doing so that you are always at their disposal to meet their needs, even when it's silly, even when it's a waste of time. They can create chaos in order to keep you at their beck and call. And when you try to fight them back on it, they're just going to pile it on thicker. They're going to give you more stuff to do. They're going to come at you from a different angle. It's very difficult to stop these people or rationalize with these people because they don't take ownership for their actions. They're just going to look at you like something is wrong with you. Rules do not apply to these people. There are going to be times when it's not going to make sense because they're not following the same rules that they are imposing upon you. And you're noticing that they're doing things to sabotage it. They're doing things to go against it. They're telling other people not to follow what you're doing. And they just circumvent or go around. You know, when they need an exception to the rule, even if it's imposing or distracting or it interferes with everyone else, they're not going to care. Sometimes this person will present as vulnerable, wounded, because of their sense of abandonment and not wanting to lose you. But then, on the other hand, they'll be trying to exploit you. The narcissist side of them has an exaggerated sense of importance. And the borderline, you know, sometimes you can see them coming to you for making excuses to come and sit with you or do something with you. It could be because they're feeling like they're dissociating or they're feeling that unstable sense of self. And then they'll flip that and have this sense of superiority. Like, hey, you are jumping for me, right? You're doing everything that I say, right? So you will feel like you're in a straitjacket. So there are going to be times when they feel a strong sense of emptiness, but they're also not going to have empathy at times for people. Some of them can fake it because they've got that borderline side of them, which is often very interested in people and can care very deeply for people, but they're going to lack empathy at many times. The narcissistic side, they just want to exploit people, manipulate them, and impress people. That's what they're leading with. Now, both of these people, if they're well developed, they can be pretty smooth with it and seem very normal a lot of times. But yet it's confusing because you feel like I'm dealing with an everyday person, but then there are things that they do that make you feel like you're just being sat on. One of the things that could help is they seem to really just want a friend. They want your friendship. They want to connect with you. And that might be a way to kind of keep that narcissistic, clingy side down a little bit. But I think no matter what, it's going to come back to bite you at some point because they're known for having very chaotic and turbulent relationships. Got a very manipulative person who is going to come across at first as very nice and very, normal or whatever, and then you get deeply entrenched into the relationship and then you start finding out differently. So, of course, you can be friends with this person, but personally, I do not want to be friends with those people because I understand the layers and the traps and the toxicity that can ensue and the damage and the hurt and the confusion. And so it's very confusing when you're in a situation that you can't escape from. If it's a friendship, you may be able to escape. In a romantic relationship or in the workplace, it's very difficult to escape these people. And so it's really tricky because being a friend to them could make them be nicer to you, but also being a friend to them could be very confusing. It's just they're giving out dual messages that clash and that don't make any sense. So it's a really difficult place. It's like if you are normal and healthy, you'll be finding yourself running and trying to get away from them all the time, but that borderline is going to be highly sensitive to any type of abandonment, any type of triggers that you're trying to escape. And they're going to turn up the heat. They're going to turn up the amount of things that you get. It's very normal for them to take your work and take it and put it to the side and put into place all the things they want you to do to make them look good, to help them with their jobs, because there is a level of low self-esteem with these people that they're trying to manage and prop up. They can both live in alternate realities, and their feelings can create facts. So they can project their feelings of awfulness onto other people, and then they will blame those people when the person is really not bad. It's them that's dealing with these toxic emotions that they're placing and projecting onto other people. And they can blame everybody for things or for flaws or mistakes or anything but themselves. This person will have a hard time admitting that they're wrong or that they've made a mistake. They can be very judgmental and have a need to be right all the time. And it's hard because they're not going to take responsibility for their actions or the hurtful things that they say. If you confront them about it, they're not going to own up to it or understand what you're talking about. They're not going to listen to what they don't want to hear. They hear things in a different way. So sometimes you're thinking, okay, that doesn't make sense, but it does to them. This person can be very jealous about the smallest things because deep inside they feel a great amount of shame, and they can be liars to get what it is that they want, because remember, they have a strong need to get their needs met, and they're just going to be very controlling and have problems with emotional stability. This person's emotional development is stunted, and they're not going to be logical when triggered. Sometimes they can target certain people, which is also irritating. If you're the person that they're targeting, it can be super difficult for you. You probably will need therapy to help you cope. This person can be verbally and emotionally abusive and have very unstable and impaired relationships. I wish there were not people in the world who have this comorbid disorder, but there are. Bottom line, these people are leeches. You can feel like they have hijacked your life for their own, like your life is interchangeable, that they can't function without you. They're too clingy, they're too all over you, they're too in your space, too controlling what you do instead of letting you be free to get your job done or live your life. It's just this whole blend of toxicity that feels really horrible. So I've actually written a couple of books that can help you. One of them is called The Workplace NaRCISSiST by Tamara Zyon. It's on Amazon, and it's just about exploring a certain type of narcissist and how toxic they are, but what you can do to survive that person. You could be in a romantic relationship with them. And then I've also written a book called Flip the Script on Love by Tamara Zyon on Amazon. And it's about healing from love. And it could be because you've been with one of these toxic people who's a borderline and narcissistic combo, and they've done an enormous amount of damage, and now you need healing. Well, my book will help you to get back on track to love again. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.